Well, it's just in the final polls, exit polls now for the UK general election. Labour with a massive majority, 410 seats, Conservatives with 130, and Reform UK with 13. So let's break that down. So firstly, Labour coming in, I don't think people should be too worried. Remember, why are you worried about? Too much immigration, too much high taxes, and wokery and net zero. Well, guess what? That's what the Conservatives have been doing for 4 years. You're not going to get more than 1.6 million legal immigrants per year, which is what the Conservatives created. Not Blair. Don't blame Blair. This was a Boris Johnson policy from 2019, and he increased it, and he made it that net migration went from 200,000 to 700,000. Right, 3 times, more than 3 times. Right, that's what he did on purpose. Okay, so please don't blame anyone else. I think Labour could. It can't get worse than 1.6 million. I'm saying net, right? So it can't get worse than that. So I think, it's just going to continue. It's not going to get better, but it's not going to get worse. High taxation, again, we're at the highest taxes in 38 years. Can it get worse than that? Not really much. Maybe a bit more, but really not that much more. And basically, Britain's bankrupt. So Labour have been given a poison chalice by these useless, wet Tories, disgraceful. They're the same. They're basically the same as Labour, just in blue. And so I can't really see any difference. Again, Labour will have to face this deficit. What can they do? They can't raise taxes more, highest in 38 years. They can do inflation. That is one way. I think that's probably the way they'll go. They can't raise more debt. They're at 5.5% per year. And they've got more immigrants coming this year. And they'll obviously keep doing the 1.6 million per year. All going straight on benefits, by the way. None of them working, all going straight on benefits. Yeah, I just can't see what they can do. They'll have to face it. They'll have to deal with it, in my opinion, either through inflation or, I don't know. That is the only other way out, really. Default, I don't know what you could do. So that's the other one. Then you've got, obviously, the net zero madness will continue. The wokery will continue. So again, nothing will change. You have to get that through your head. Nothing will change with Labour. It's exactly the same. So don't worry. Tories, totally decimated. They've basically been ripped apart because they're right and left together and they can't decide what they want to be. Now, apparently, the left side won the most seats, and I can just see themselves ripping each other apart and just going to irrelevance, which is what they should be, because they're just a disgrace. They're a bunch of liars. They didn't keep any promise. They were meant to reduce immigration. They were meant to perform Brexit. They were meant to reduce taxes. They did nothing. They're pathetic. They're meant to stand for people's rights. They did lockdown for 2 years. Do me a favor. Good riddance. I'm happy. I'm actually happier to see Labour than these fake Conservatives. And finally, we've got good news. We have got Reform UK, and Nigel Farage will have a house, a voice in Parliament, hopefully, and we'll be able to hear some great speeches and something for the country to rally behind. And hopefully, in 5 years, he can really have a go at going for Prime Minister. The likelihood is zero, because obviously Labour is still going to import 1.6 million immigrants per year, and 800,000 real Brits leave, and so therefore you're flooded with 10 million straight on benefits to add on to the 10 million already. That's 20 million. You're done. So there is really no hope for the UK. It is basically gone, totally finished. This was the death knell, just to make sure there's hope in the next election, but it's extreme. It's only if Labour really to manage, completely screw things over. But I think they'll just continue the managed decline of the Tories. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what they're good at. Managed decline, keep giving the talking points while everyone gets poorer. Perfect. Inflation, keeping going, steady pace of inflation, wearing people down. That's exactly what we want. So, absolute disaster, death knell for the UK. A little bit of hope from Reform UK. And that's basically it. UK totally gone.